Hey everybody, here we are in Module 3 on positive relationships with colleagues and friends. So, the idea of this module is really to get you to think a little bit more about how you're developing relationships generally. So, you may be thinking about only in my business or only in my industry, my organization. That's what I care about when it comes to relationships. That's part of it. But let's be honest, the way we develop relationships with our friends, with our family, is associated with how we develop relationships with colleagues. And even if we're good at putting on a facade, eventually it comes out. We start to treat each other, we start to treat people in similar ways. So we need to be reflective of that and be developing in terms of our ability to develop positive relationships with those around us. Now, there's another term for this, and this is the term that I'll probably use in the content and that I think we should all use in this, and that is what we call high quality relationships. So this means that we're developing relationships where we care about each other, where we're honest with each other, and where we're able to help each other to be our best, right? And so as a leader, I need to be able to kind of help my team to be the best that they can be. Otherwise, we will not be as successful, we won't be as efficient, and we'll have more challenges in our organization. There's an organizational scholar out there, her name is Kai Wakeman, and she wrote a book about change management. And one of the things that she kind of put out there is that I believe it's that the average person wastes about 10 hours a week on drama. So think about that for a minute. 10 hours a week on drama is probably about a quarter, about 25% of their work time. And it's not that they're gossiping the whole time. That's probably part of it. It's that when we start having these disconnected relationships, we don't engage with each other well. We start to have more problems. I start thinking about it a lot. I'm spending a lot of time wondering, does so and so like me? Or why would this person say this about me? Because I've created these challenging relationships. And so, as a leader, especially in a positively deviant organization, if I'm trying to be a good social entrepreneur, I want to create relationships between me and my team, me and my friends and family that will hopefully help us to move forward in this and to have those high quality relationships to be as efficient and effective as possible. So, there are four concepts that we talked a little bit about in this week's content. The first one is the concept of engagement, right? If I'm going to have a high quality relationship, I have to engage with my team member. This means that I'm going to create opportunities for us to work together. This means that I'm going to create opportunities for me to be where you are, to be in the similar space and situation. That engagement can lead to that high quality relationship. The second thing that I want, or the second concept that I think is critical for high quality relationships, is assuming goodwill and developing goodwill. There's a relationship scholar out there who focuses mostly on marriage relationships, but I think it is, kind of equally as important in business relationships. And this is John Gottman. And John Gottman talks about a concept that's called the emotional bank account, which is basically that in our relationships, we have a bank account. And whenever we take withdrawals, we can eventually overdraft. And that's what creates explosive arguments and disagreements. So when I'm in a professional relationship or a personal relationship, I should be thinking about where is my emotional bank account, right? Have I taken too many withdrawals from this person? And it's going to hinder their ability to be their best self. Am I depositing enough? Am I remembering their birthday? Am I saying hello to people? Am I asking to take on challenging tasks? Have I created goodwill? Because that will help us to have high quality relationships. The third concept that I think we need to talk a little bit about is this concept of enabling, which it sounds and can often be termed in a negative way, right? That we're enabling someone to do something problematic. Really, what this is about is, am I helping people to accomplish their task, right? I'll often use the example of I don't know if any of you have ever played the game Jenga or Tumbling Tower, for those of you who had the off-brand version like myself. But it's that game where we have blocks and they're all stacked in a tower. And the point of the game is to pull out the blocks and to not be the person that makes the tower fall. If the tower falls on you, you lose. What I've always thought was interesting is that that game creates a space where I'm thinking about what block can I take that saves me and what block can I take that makes it so it's more likely to fall on the next person. Now, it's a game. That's fine. But in our organizations, that's not how we should be thinking, right? We should be thinking about what can I do to make it so that the next person can be successful. Think about this way. If I was in manufacturing and I'm developing this one part, What can I do to make sure that that part is ready for the next part, which might be installation or it might be an additional part? What can I do to enable the people after me? That's the mentality we've got to have, especially when we talk again about social entrepreneurship. How am I enabling my team to be effective and to be helpful? How am I enabling the people I'm engaging with, whether through service or through the product, to make sure that it's successful and it makes causes and it develops the most good? So that's the third aspect of high quality relationships. And then the final aspect, I think, is one that all of us hopefully have had some experience with, and that is this concept of playing, right? And so these can be, either games that are tied to our work. So you could think if you're in a sales industry, increasing sales and having, some sort of a trophy that goes around or something silly that could be that way. I've seen other organizations that just play games that are disconnected from work because it's a way for them to engage socially, but also acknowledge that they have lives outside of work, right? So this concept of playing is the fourth aspect of these high quality relationships. I would encourage you to think about these in your own personal and professional relationships. And especially as we talk about this, I want you to think about this too as we engage in the next module, which is about positive relationships with society. Um, this week, we do have a few great things for you to engage with. There is an article by Adam Grant called Give and Take, as well as an article on high quality relationships that provides some interesting insights that I think will help. Again, you don't have to read all of them, you don't have to watch all the videos, but they're there for you if this is a concept you want a little bit more on. But I would recommend the Adam Grant article just because I found that to be really meaningful to me and helped me to think about, am I a giver? And most importantly, am I an effective giver? So with that, I hope that you engage and enjoy this week's content or this module's content and look forward to seeing you in the next module where we're talking more about high quality relationships within our organization and with society.